Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. Tall tales will take you very far.
Hey everyone, it's Mary Ann from the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees. That last line there, tall tales won't take you very far. So as you can tell, this video is Don't Be Bill, part 854, not to be confused with part G. So this is concerning that there's a whole group of people in the NYPD retiree Medicare page that still are listening to Bill Mack in Florida. He doesn't know what he's talking about. This is just another episode of proving he doesn't know what he's talking about. Our organization takes pride in our debunking bullshit series, and of course, Bill keeps us in business all the time with exactly doing that. So today, his post was that I know that there was a video put out by the wig-wearing idiots stating that there's a doctor that can't refuse to accept a GHI senior care plan. It is false. Your GHI senior care plan is not a Part G plan in a traditional Medicare sense. It is a supplemental plan offered by GHI Group Health Incorporated that functions similarly to a Medigap Part G, a Plan G, he says. So then he says, essentially covering the gaps left by Medicare Part A and B for eligible retirees, but it is specifically designed for New York City retirees and not a standardized Medigap plan that can be purchased nationwide like a true Part G plan. First of all, it's not Part G, it would be Plan G, not Part. The only parts you have are A, B, C, and D. A is hospital, B is medical, C is Medicare Advantage, and D is your drug plan. Everything else is a plan, not part. He then says it's not true if Part G plan can and is currently being denied by doctors. Feel free to contact Medicare and verify also what happens if you report or how it's enforced. It's not. Verify with your doctors before treatment so you do not get stuck with bills. Issuing bad information like this leads to people getting stuck with large bills. Bill, this is absolutely incorrect. If a doctor accepts Medicare under the Medicare Act, he accepts Medicare, they must accept your supplemental plan or Medigap plan. The words are used interchangeably. Now, you are also in an employer or union group waiver plan, which means that Medicare has actually granted waivers for that plan to operate traditionally like a traditional Medigap or supplemental plan. So they have to. The contract that GHI has with the city of New York is that plan is approved by Medicare to act as a Medigap or supplemental. It doesn't have to be offered all around America. That's exactly how those Medicare Advantage plans get approval to operate in Medicare. You should ask Andrea about that if she still remembers. So what Bill is telling you is absolutely incorrect. So, for example, you've got like Stuart Lieber saying, oh, Bill and Andrea know their shit. And then, of course, Diane Capetta says, oh, yeah, well, no, they absolutely don't. You guys got to stop drinking the Kool-Aid on this. Bill McMahon and Andrea, his wife, who used to work for Aetna or still works for Aetna, I really can't even tell, and I don't even really care. They're selling you misinformation, and you should be asking them why. He wants to attack me and calling me names or whatever, which I don't really give a damn about, obviously. But the fact that he's misleading you, that is the most difficult part for me to wrap my head around, that you guys don't even like debunk him or look him up or prove that what he's saying to you is even right. You just take it willy-nilly like he's saying the gospel. That I absolutely don't get. Richard Walter Miley, like, you guys are following someone who doesn't know what he's talking about. He is a self-appointed expert. Now, come over to the New York City retirees, because I already know, like, Stu and I think Walter are in our Facebook page. You guys then should be educated, and you should know better than this. I mean, if you don't want to be in our page because you're not making donations to the organization, I know at one point one of you did, but that was like in 2023. So if you support us, which I don't understand why you're not, because we've absolutely been Stuart. So Stuart, I don't understand why you stopped making donations, as we've saved your health benefits. I'm not quite sure what makes you guys believe this guy. I mean, he's a cop, so you believe him, but I'm not a cop, so you don't believe me. But our organization under my leadership has won you 11 times to protect what the city has to pay for you and protects your choices of healthcare plans. I mean, that's what we did. So I think you should basically be thanking us and donating to our litigation so it stays that way. That would probably be the right thing to do, but I'm basically giving up on you guys. I'm just going to keep on doing these and keep debunking them, because maybe if there's one or two people that actually listen, that Bill Mack and his wife Andrea are actually spreading misinformation. They don't even know what they're talking about. Like I said before, it's not Part G, it is a Plan G, and all the plans have different letters and they all have different benefits in them. The plans are good for a year. You have to renew them on the marketplace. You don't have to get your supplemental plan from the city, but if you don't, you're paying your Medicare, you're not getting your Medicare Part B premium back, and you have to pay for the supplemental plan on the marketplace. It doesn't make any sense that you guys don't believe this. The city created a plan that acts as a supplemental or Medigap available to the rest of the country, but this one's made for you, and it has to follow the Medicare rules. Unlike Medicare Advantage, which is privatized Medicare, and yet that is also a contract, a HMO PPO with a Medicare contract. It operates very similar, not the same. So sadly, Andrea and Bill don't know what they're talking about. Now, if you're going to a doctor and that doctor is saying, no, I'm not accepting your Medigap plan or your supplemental plan or your GHI, that's because they're thinking you're on the under 65 plan, which I know Bill knows does not have great coverage down in the South. So your supplemental plan, though, is a secondary payer, meaning Medicare is primary. And if the doctor accepts Medicare, they must accept your secondary. However, the ding-dong at the desk probably thinks that your GHI is primary. They're not understanding it, and they're saying no. Just like the other gentleman said, well, you should double check that, because I went to the doctor, and my doctor said that they weren't accepted, and that he would give me a discount of a $30 copay, and you paid the $30, but then an EOB came in the mail and it showed that you absolutely got paid. What's happening is called a coordination of insurance. The doctor doesn't have to bill your supplemental. What happens is if you contact Medicare and you say, hey, I got a supplement, can you please do a coordination of benefits? They put that in your account, and you can log on your Medicare.gov and see that it's actually in there. But most of you are on Medicare Advantage, so it probably doesn't really matter anyway. And what I'm saying to you probably doesn't make a difference. But for those of you that are on senior care and living in Florida and are listening to these two knuckleheads, if you call Medicare and ask them to coordinate your insurance and put your supplemental in your account, they will. And then what happens is the doctor bills, you go to the doctor. The doctor sends an invoice to Medicare, to Medicare. Medicare pays it and sends the balance of the bill to the secondary, which is senior care. The doctor doesn't have to do that, and then they automatically get a check. And then today, of course, you'll be paying a $15 copay because the unions, basically, the Municipal Labor Committee, sold us out. And we're still fighting that, by the way. That's not done. But understand something. Stop listening to these people. This has been Don't Be Bill, part 854. Not to be confused with Plan G. So hang in there, guys. I really hope you stop following these people. But there's a couple of you, Diane, Walter, Stuart, you're in our Facebook page. you should definitely be getting knowledge from being in there. And if you're not, you could remove yourself. And if I don't hear from you, I might just remove you myself. So understand that there's a lot of people working very hard to make sure that accurate information is given out. If you don't want to accept it, that's on you. But we're going to keep debunking bullshit. And this has been another episode. Have a great night.
Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. Tall tales will take you very far. Don't scoff when they say it's the end. In this life, you know you can't pretend. The days pass by, baby, set in stone.